3rd and 8. Carr looking for it all. The rainbow. Oh, it's snared for the interception by Kenny Moore. Fantastic defensive play.
You know, he's the best defensive back to come through this building, you know, probably since Bob Sanders. I mean, I know he leads the Colts in most interceptions in history, most defensive touchdowns in history.
It's kind of like sad as well. Like, dang, Anthony's gone. Like, great dude as well, but he hasn't left yet. So who knows? He might be on the team. I don't know. But it's just like there's a possibility of him being gone too. So
you're a professional. You have a job to do, and that's why you're here. You're going to compete, and I mean, and I think Anthony knows too. It's only going to help him by competing and doing well. So,
in my opinion, I think Anthony Richardson should stay in Indy because I think this is the best team for him.
Here, Indiana move. We from Indiana move. We from Indiana move. I'm an Indiana move.
Touchdown, I-N-D-Y. And he lost the ball. There's a fumble. Who's got it? The officials say the Colts do.
Right seat win, baby.
Drops it way downfield, intercepted, coming forward and making the INT for the Colts in the back end. To see the Colts win Super Bowl.
hey, win on 3. 1, 2, 3, win.
So let's talk about Anthony Richardson and what needs to happen here, because it seems like that the Colts are not going to release Anthony like they just did with Kenny Moore. They tried to trade him. Nothing came up. They couldn't figure out, either they couldn't find a trade partner or the asking price is too high. If I had to bet my money on it, my money is on Chris Ballard is asking for like a 3rd or a 4th round pick. And that's probably too high if we're going to be completely honest. Anthony Richardson does not have a history of being healthy. He's only played 17 games. His completion percentage is terrible. So, and he needs to be developed. So, and you don't really know what he could be, I guess. And he has to learn new offense and things of that nature. So, and if you look at the landscape of the NFL and all the teams that are out there that could possibly trade for Anthony Richardson, like I went through every roster, all the teams, and you think about what team would need a 23, 24-year-old physically gifted prospect at quarterback. Like what kind of teams would need that kind of player that would trade for that kind of player, that would give up some sort of value for that player? If you look through all 32 teams in the NFL, including the Colts, what teams would need him? You know, you look at the teams that already have franchise quarterbacks or quarterbacks that they have already paid big money to, like the Bills, the Ravens, the Bengals, Jaguars, Chiefs, 49ers, Eagles, Cowboys, Chargers, Packers, Bucks, Lions, Seahawks, Rams, and even the Colts. All those teams paid their quarterback, or they believe that their quarterback is a franchise quarterback. Yeah, they could use him as a backup, but they would still have to pay him $10 million. And that's quite a bit for an unproven, at this point, backup. And then you look at teams that already have an up-and-coming quarterback that's still on their rookie deal, so they're paying nothing for their quarterback. We're talking about the Patriots, the Texans, the Titans, the Commanders, the Browns, the Broncos, the Giants, the Bears, the Panthers, the Falcons, the Saints. Which one of those teams are calling and saying like, hey, send us Anthony Richardson also? Or teams that might have signed a veteran quarterback this offseason, the Jets, the Vikings, the Dolphins. Are they also now, after paying and signing a big money quarterback, are they going to then send more assets to bring in Anthony Richardson? Most likely not. And then you look at teams that drafted a quarterback, the Raiders, the Cardinals, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Those teams are doing it either. And you also have to consider some of these teams that signed a quarterback in the offseason also drafted a quarterback. And some of these teams that have their franchise quarterback also drafted a quarterback, like the Chiefs drafted a quarterback. The Las Vegas Raiders, who drafted a quarterback number 1 overall, already have Kirk Cousins. Like, look through these rosters, look at these teams, and you tell me which team Anthony Richardson would have a place to be on that would be better than the situation that he has here. Because if he goes to any other team in the NFL, he's going to be a 3rd string buried in the depth chart. He's not going to have a chance to play. Anthony Richardson's best chance and best opportunity to play in the NFL is as an Indianapolis Colt. He's been in this offense going into year 4. He should know this offense like the back of his hand. He knows the offensive line. He knows the receiver. He knows the running back. He knows the coaches. He knows the offensive coordinators. He knows all these things, the practice, the scheme, everything. Mentally, he knows it. The coaches and the front office players said that he was getting better, that he got better during the competition with Daniel Jones. He was the quarterback 2 on the depth chart. Anthony Richardson has to prove that he belongs in the NFL. Prove that you're the best quarterback on the team. Now, obviously, you're not going to be the day 1 starter because that's Daniel Jones' spot. But you are the most physically gifted quarterback that the NFL has probably ever seen. We saw what you did in the Patriots game. We saw what you did against the Jets. But we also saw what you did against the Packers. We've seen the bad games from you. You need to show consistency. You need to show that you can stay healthy, and you need to show maturity, which you did show. Because there was no pouting, no complaining, none of that stuff when you lost the job to Daniel Jones. You stayed a professional, and that needs to continue. You cannot go into camp, and I don't believe that he's going to do this, but come into camp ready to work and prove that you belong in the league. Show everybody that you're the best quarterback for the team. Obviously, the best backup quarterbacks. If you cannot beat out Riley Leonard, then we have bigger problems than that. And I believe that Anthony Richardson is a better quarterback than Riley Leonard. Like, say what you want. I was wrong about Riley Leonard and what he could be. I didn't think he'd be anything in this league, but he played great against the Texans last year against their starters. He showed me something that I didn't think he had in him. He played a great game, made a lot of great throws, showed off mobility, damn near almost won the game. But if you look at some of those passes that he threw to Alec Pierce, who was wide open, most of those deep passes were underthrown. Anthony Richardson isn't underthrowing anybody. He's never underthrowing Alec Pierce. Anthony Richardson is a better athlete than Riley Leonard. You have to come into training camp in shape, know the playbook, frontward, forward, work on your consistency in the passing game, pass protection, calling that stuff out. And even the Colts, as coaches and front office people, if you guys want to get some value for Anthony Richardson, you need to start building him up, talking him up too. Like this whole eye injury thing, if that thing is good, you need to start saying like, hey, he is cleared. He's 100%. Like, don't let there be any, we got to leave it up to him, or it's a maybe, or I'm not sure. It's got to be his eye is clear. His shoulder is good. His arm is good. His legs are good. His back is good. Everything is good. He looks great in practice. His accuracy, top notch. Like, start talking this kid up so you can drum up some interest so you can, because you clearly don't want him here. You clearly don't want Anthony Richardson on the team. You clearly don't see him as your future. But you did spend a top 5 pick on him, and you clearly don't want to just give him away for nothing. So as a front office and a coaching staff, you need to hype him up also. You need to make people want him. Put some clips out there. I mean, obviously he has to earn reps in practice. He has to earn that second quarterback spot. But if he looks good out there, you've got to display that, showcase that. Now, it might, divide the fan base, because there's a certain fraction of the fan base that wants to keep him. There's another fraction of the fan base that's just ready to just drive him to the airport and let him go wherever he needs to go and just get him out of town. And I get that. But I'm one of those people that still believes in him, man. He's only started 17 games. He's under 24 years old. If I had to bet money on if Anthony Richardson is going to start one game for the Indianapolis Colts, I would bet that he does. What reason do I have to believe that Daniel Jones will start every game this season? Why would I believe that? What reason could you convince me of that? He's been in the league almost 8 or 9 years. He's only had one full healthy season. It's not going to continue. Daniel Jones is just as injury prone. He gets hurt out there. It happens. I would rather have a quarterback that has the huge upside that you guys keep telling me is getting better every offseason. If you tell me that Anthony Richardson can bring his completion percentage from the 50s to like the low 60% or 65%. Can you imagine what that could do with his running ability, with Jonathan Taylor, with our offensive line, with Tyler Warren and Alec Pierce out there? You'd rather have Riley Leonard out there doing checkdowns and underthrown deep balls? No, give me the upside. And if he comes in for Daniel Jones for 1 or 2 games and he just completely lights it up, then, you know, if he does it before the trade deadline, you can trade him then or do a sign and trade or something and try to get some value for him. Or you can decide like, hey, maybe we gave up on this kid too soon. His upside is higher than Daniel Jones. We can get out from under that contract fairly easy, and let's just ride with the young guy and go back to what we plan to do. And maybe he does. Maybe he just needed more time to develop. Maybe that was the case. But I just look at the landscape of the league. I look at all the quarterbacks and all the teams, the backup quarterbacks, and I do not see a place for Anthony Richardson to go to actually get an opportunity to play, develop, and showcase his skills, his skill set, his talent, his ability. The best place to do that is in Indianapolis. It just is. That's a fact. There's no other team that has the same offense, that has the same offensive play caller, that has the same stability that we have here at Indianapolis. So Anthony Richardson at this point, I want him to stay. I want him to stay, and I want him to earn this second quarterback slot. Because if he is quarterback 2, that means he is one play away from being quarterback 1 again. And if that's the case, the sky is the limit. I'm telling you, AR5 can still do it. I feel like we haven't scratched the surface. All he needs to do is get that completion percentage up just a little bit. He's one of the best deep throwers in the league. He's one of the best at avoiding sacks. He's one of the best at scrambling and running through people, running past people. He just has to stay healthy and make the layups, the short routes, the dump offs, make the short stuff, make the easy stuff. We know you can do the special stuff. We know that you're clutch. Do the simple stuff. If you can do the simple stuff great, then you can be great as well, because we know you can do all the other stuff. But I believe in Anthony Richardson. I still do. You want to say I'm a Anthony Richardson truther, or I'm a, dick rider, or I just want to believe or whatever, believe in fairy dust. And I just said I didn't believe in Santa Claus, but I believe in Anthony Richardson. For some people, that's kind of the same thing. Say what you will. We haven't seen enough. We haven't seen enough for me to say, you know what, just go ahead and release him. Just go ahead and get rid of him. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. So we'll see what happens. This is gonna be interesting off-season training camp, all that stuff, and I can't wait. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you guys are anti-Anthony Richardson, I know I'm gonna hear from you guys, so we can chop it up. We can go back and forth. I don't care. It's all good. Bang.